Hello, it's Saturday and welcome to the new Big Magazine. I'm Lee Bannister and over the next hour we'll be bringing you a relaxed look around Birmingham, Solihull, the Black Country and beyond. Yes, welcome to your Saturday edition. In a few moments, I'm going to be sitting down with Natalie to see what's up on this week's community notice board. Then Taffy will be here with this week's Charity Focus, where we'll profile a local charity. And this week, we're looking at Seek Aid International. And remember, if you know of a charity who we could talk to, then do get in touch. A little later on, Des and Gary will be with us to look at what's on Saturday, and then Carl will take time out from the big picture to let us know what's happening in the world of film. Tom Wilkinson from Doorstep History will drop in to give us a history lesson in what happened this week over the years. Johnny Doon will take his unique look at the music world. Thomas Russell will take a stroll through the literary world, and then I'll take a look into the good old Postbag. You can't keep me out of it. As I said, plenty of looks in all sorts of nooks and crannies. So that's all to come within the pages of Saturday's Big Magazine.
Thank you, Lee. Hello, Lee.
Hello.
Now it's time to have a look at what else is happening in your community as we take a look at the community notice board.
Oh yes, if you have news that you'd like to feature, then give us plenty of notice and you could be telling people all across the area what's going on.
If you want to get in touch, we'll tell you how you can in a few minutes' time.
Certainly will. Now, Saturday the 23rd of April is the Mayor's Charity Ball. There you go. Hosted by the Mayor of Solihull, Councillor Glenys Slater. Now, the black tie ball will be St George's Day themed and will be a celebration of traditional English values.
It will be dedicated to raising money for the Teenage Cancer Trust, as well as other mayoral charities. There'll be a 3-course dinner, dancing and entertainment, including the internationally acclaimed Beatlemania tribute band.
Oh, I love a bit of Beatles.
It'll go like this.
Yes. Air guitar by the Mayor. I like that, yeah.
That was like multitasking on a high level.
That's very good, yeah. Now, it's at St John's Hotel in Solihull and tickets are available from the Mayor's office by contacting mayor@solihull.gov.uk or phone 0121 704 6023.
I think if this was like 200 years ago, the Mayor would be sat watching being like, off with their heads!
Have you got a big sort of blingy chain or something you could...
No.
OK.
City Drive is a week of events raising awareness of social enterprises, which are businesses that trade for social purposes. Last year, City Drive included 17 events across 5 days and attracted over 300 people. So amongst this year's events are...
On Monday the 18th of April from midday you can join the online community for the launch, and that's at the website www.i-se.co.uk. Then in the afternoon you can take part in the Digbeth Social Enterprise Quarter Walk. It's a chance to visit some of the social enterprises based in Digbeth on a guided walk and hear their stories.
Then on Tuesday the 19th of April it's ISE's first social enterprise and local business networking session. It takes place in the morning, then there's a health and social care marketplace at the Muath Trust for Third Sector Providers in Birmingham. Later in the day, there's a soup workshop supporting the City Centre Soup Kitchen at Edible East Side. And that's a chance to cook up a delicious range of soups under the direction of Jane Bradley, who is a keen food grower and cook, using vegetables from Birmingham's market that would otherwise be thrown away. The soups will then be donated to Birmingham's soup kitchens to help feed the homeless.
Oh, what a great idea.
Fantastic.
I like that, yeah. And finally, on Wednesday, the 20th of April, you can book a slot in the Developing a Trading Arm event. Changes to public service delivery means organisations need to think differently, and social enterprise presents an opportunity to create direct community impact while also trading to increase an organisation's sustainability.
More information from www.i-se.co.uk.
Now, some events at Tipton Library now, and on Saturday the 23rd of April it's for Shakespeare and for St George. It's a fun day. Is that your St George then?
Yeah. I don't know what that was. I couldn't do the Mayor thing, so I was like...
sure he looked like that at some point in his life.
Yeah.
It's a fun day which celebrates the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death and, of course, St George's Day. There'll be community stalls, music, homemade refreshments and much more.
Adrian Holmes, the Sandwell Town Crier, will officially open the event, and there'll be face painting.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There'll be I would do a cry impression, but I might crack the glass. I'm quite high pitched. There will be face painting, crafts, live music, and the chance to take part in National Shakespeare Day by having a Shakespeare selfie.
Shakespeare selfie, sort of. One of those. Anyway, at 11 a.m, John Miller from the Tipton and Cosley Building Society, alongside boxers from the William Perry Boxing Club, will unveil a print of what is reckoned to be the first photograph of the Tipton Slasher, which is on loan from the Royal Collection.
The black and white print is reported to be one of the first photos taken of William Perry, and the library has partnered up with the Tipton and Cosley Building Society and William Perry ABC to purchase a print to go on display in the library in Owen Street, near to the Fountain Inn, which was once the headquarters of the English champion bare knuckle fighter.
I know it well, yeah. If you want any more details in that?
We've gone from to.
More details from Tipton Library, 0121 557 1796.
And the evening of a laughter time is going to be taking place at Great Bridge Library on Monday the 25th of April, as they have a right carry-on at the library. That's what the event's called.
Oh,
you
yes.
can enjoy a screening of one of the best carry-on films, a charity raffle and a selection of seaside refreshments. You'll need to get a ticket in advance. They're £3 if you're not a member of the library, and only £1.50 if you are. Perks of being a bookworm.
Of course it is,
Half
yes.
price tickets.
Great Bridge Library for that one. Now, Wolverhampton's Carers' next free outreach and information sharing event will be on Friday the 22nd of April at Beckminster Church Hall on Birches Barn Road in Wolverhampton. There's a free programme of guest speakers including Councillor Elias Matu from Wolverhampton Council, Bill Laybourne from Good Life, Tracy Cresswell from Health Watch and Robert Anslow from the Citizens Advice Bureau.
Also, there'll be an information sharing marketplace featuring African Caribbean Community Initiative, the Alzheimer's Society, Aspiring Futures, Creative Support, Headway, Health Watch, Include Me Too, not me, that's the name of the Life Direct, Progress Care, West Midlands Police and the Wolverhampton Council Handpersons Service.
There's plenty going on there, so if you'd like more information about that, we have a phone number and an email address and a website, 0845 259 3163, email carers@omega.uk.net, or the website is www.omega.uk.net. They're the people who run it.
Now, Lye Community Centre is hosting free monthly storytelling sessions. The Lye Storytelling Group meets on the first Monday of every month at the Crosswalks Road Centre from 2:30 p.m. till 3:30 p.m. As an example, this month's meeting includes tales of Lye's pubs, their patrons and the landlords who ran them. Everyone is welcome to attend the free sessions where bread pudding and a hot drink are provided.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, yes. For more details, contact Gay Partridge on 01384 898511.
Love it. Now, Lichfield Gospel Choir, led by Themba Mvula, is participating in a charity concert at Lichfield's Garrick Theatre. The choir, or 80 of them, will appear alongside Irish comedian Jimmy Cricket. Come here, there's more, on Sunday the 24th of April. Now, tickets are a tenner and all proceeds go to St Giles Hospice and Lichfield Food Bank. So if you'd like to find more about that, go to www.lichfieldgarrick.com or call the box office on 01543 412 121.
You're getting all the numbers and emails again.
My turn every week, isn't it?
Now, this year, the King's Head in Harborne has pledged to work with as many local charities as possible after hosting several successful charity nights since the beginning of 2016. So far, the King's Head team have raised over £600 for notable local causes.
Now, since January, they've held events for the Worley Woods, Birmingham Streets, Birmingham St Mary's Hospice, St Albans Community Association and Birmingham Dogs Home through their range of networking events, monthly charity pub quizzes and most recently their doggy food drive. Now, with more events lined up, they're hoping to be able to give a lot more throughout the year to help encourage donations and spread the word about the great things that charities in their community do for the locals of Harborne and Birmingham.
Oh, I love doggy stuff.
I thought so.
And the King's Head aren't stopping there. Their next charity events are in support of the Queen Alexandra College with a charity quiz on the 24th of April and Action on Hearing Loss with another charity quiz on the 28th of May. The team hope that their popular historic venue will become the go-to place for locals to feel involved in their community, and that locals will take the opportunity to give worthy charities throughout the year.
It's a good idea, isn't it? Now, the Lost City radio show is a black country radio show broadcast on a very selective bandwidth. It's on the stage, where a bunch of actors prepare to present their weekly show. What could possibly go wrong?
Numerous things.
Now, be prepared for acts of mirth and even acts of mercy, as this lot get into character whilst broadcasting in a semi-professional manner. Just don't talk about the water. That's what they say. It's all on the 22nd of April at Greets Green Social Club on Whitehall Road in West Bromwich. And if you can make it then, if you can't make it then, there's another performance at the Lamp Tavern in Dudley on the 6th of May. If you want any more information about any of that, go to www.wensburywads.com.
I want to know what's in the water now.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to go and find out, aren't you?
So that's what's up on our community notice board this week. Would you like to tell people across the area what's going on? Then get in touch. Don't touch me, just get in touch. Then make sure to let us know in plenty of time.
Yes, you can email us via the Postbag, and that is postbag@bigcentre.tv, or you can send a message on social media. Just look us up anywhere on Big Centre TV.
Or, alternatively, you can pop a letter in the post to the Community Notice Board, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
Thank you. I'll see you next week. And of course, we'll be back with more at the same time next week. OK, now it's time for our brand new feature, Charity Focus. And as I said, if you know of a local charity that would benefit from some good local exposure on the telly, then please do get in touch and I'll tell you how later in the show. Now, SeekAid International is a Birmingham-based charity that serves its local and global community through volunteers. It's stretched its work as far as Nepal and Kenya, but it also does amazing work within the UK. Taffy Mushipe has been finding out more.
SeekAid International is a registered charity in the UK that strives to serve humanity through one of the Sikh principles of server, which means to serve suffering humanity without any personal gain. The charity is run purely by volunteers who are passionate about serving people with both love and compassion. I caught up with one of them.
Well, I get this big smile from SeekAid International. I came to the charity 4 years ago and I've had some amazing times with the team doing some great charity works. We've had some brilliant nights out. Well, I've had the privilege of going out onto the streets in Birmingham in the winter and serving the homeless, and that was a really humbling experience. It was very inspiring. I learned a lot. And I learnt a lot about compassion, and that's what I think makes this charity stand out for me. It genuinely cares about the outcomes for people.
Devotion for fellow human beings, and going out of your way to actually help and support those individuals who are desperate in need.
My name is Indrajit Singh Bogle, Chair of SeekAid International. We've been doing a lot of international charity work. SeekAid International is run entirely by volunteers. Nobody gets paid in SeekAid. So when somebody donates money to us, 100% of those donations go to the cause. So we've been serving, doing seva in Kenya, Gambia, Haiti, Nepal, India, and when the tsunami happened, we sent lots of food and resources over there as well for the tsunami victims. We've also been doing some local charity work as well, and for instance, our upcoming event is going to be raising funds and awareness for the incredible work of St. Mary's Hospice.
I want to know, how do you manage in actually keeping transparency open within the community, how will they know that 33,000 that you're talking about in Nepal was exactly 33,000 that was donated by the people?
Exactly. So when we do our events, when people give donations, we use Just Giving mainly. And in Just Giving, everything is recorded how much money was donated. So when that project was completed, that £33,000, along with other organisations like East End Foods, when they helped us to raise those funds, we know exactly to the penny how much was raised. When that money is given and they bring back receipts and video and photograph footage of where the orphanages were that would receive that money, we then know that that money was allocated to the project. Exactly. There's no mystery about it. When we need to buy a laptop or a printer, or we need to fly out to Kenya, we use our own money to make the payments there, instead of the donations that people give. There's not many charities that can actually declare that.
If I'm a volunteer and I want to be part of CKAID International, how can I be part of you?
When you contact us, you can tell us, hey, listen, I'm really passionate about raising funds for an orphanage in Haiti, or buying some medicines for the breakdown in Nepal post the earthquake. We will then help you personally set up a Just Giving page, which you can administer. You can invite your friends, and CKAID's volunteers will help you raise funds on that Just Giving page. When you've raised £10,000, £20,000, however much you want to raise, we will then give you that money so that you can personally take it to that country. Or if you want to do a project in England for the orphans here, you can take that money and you can allocate it.
CKAID International is not just for Sikhs, it's all-encompassing. Everybody's welcome. It's such a diverse group of people. And we have some fantastic fun doing our events. It's a win-win situation. You get to give back, but at the same time, you just go away so uplifted and elated. It's really changed a lot of outcomes in my life, and I'm so proud to be part of the team.
Welcome back. It's The Big Magazine with you for a Saturday here on Big Centre. Still to come, Carl will be here with the film news. Tom Wilkinson will join me for a look back at this week in history. Johnny Doon will offer his unique view of the music world. Thomas Russon will settle down with me with a good book, and I'll be delving into the Postbag. That's all later on in the show. But first, here they are. You can't keep them away. Well, you can try, but it won't work. It's Des and Gary with a look at what's on for Saturday.
So it's Saturday, and Tunes Times Tables at the Alexandra Stadium is an attempt at entering the Guinness Book of Records by breaking the record for the world's largest maths class. If you want to take part, then you'll need to be there by 1 o'clock sharp.
So it's a maths class and be there by 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So really anybody shouldn't be late. It's maths and numbers and figures.
Exactly. And it's a Guinness Book of Records. So.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Well done. Right, there's an exciting new Chinese calligraphy exhibition happening in Sutton Coldfield. There'll be an interactive session with workshops to show you how to write Chinese characters, and a presentation from a famous UK-based Chinese calligrapher, Qi Zhang. Is it Zhang?
Zhang, probably Zhang.
Yeah, Qi Zhang. He will be showcasing his artwork and providing a brief explanation on the history of Chinese calligraphy. And it happens in the Philip Baker Hall Scouts Community Centre, which is behind the Yenton pub at 1 o'clock. I love that. A Scouts Community Centre behind the pub.
Behind the pub, yeah. Dib, and then nip out for a pint.
Take your woggle off and go and get a pint.
Grassroots Arts Festival is taking place in Cradley Heath at the Hollybush Pub, an arts venue. And it's today and tomorrow. It's It's run by Cradley Heath Creative and includes 2 stages of performance art, musicians, painting, crafters, comedians, dancers and loads more. It's free entry and it's open until late. Hey, yeah.
Brilliant. Now, Reclaim Photography is holding a street exhibition across 5 public spaces in Birmingham, Dudley and Wolverhampton. Grand Central Birmingham, Black Country Living Museum, Harrison Learning Centre, Lighthouse Media Centre and the Mander Centre in Wolverhampton. Prints from the street events and gallery exhibition will be auctioned to raise funds for regional charity Ladies Fighting Breast Cancer. Please go and support that. It's a great charity. Yeah. And I know a couple of the ladies that started that charity off, and they really do work hard and they raise a lot of money. Great charity. Brilliant. Please support it.
Now, the Spring Market at the Bond on Faisley Street is a festival of Birmingham's finest food, drink and music, featuring 10 street food traders, a real ale bus bar and cocktail caravan. Brilliant. Could do one of those around the corner, couldn't we? And 30 artisan food producers and even a bouncy castle. It's on until 6 p.m. and it costs £2 and the kids go free. And if the adults can get on the bouncy castle before the kids, look out.
Yes. I was going to say something about bouncy castles. But
no.
Now, it's a big night for comedy. The new Alex presents an icon and national treasure who has been entertaining audiences for a lifetime of happiness and laughter. The one and only, brilliant, Mr. Ken Dodd. Come and enjoy his famous happiness show, and you're in for an evening and probably early morning of laughter and songs presented by the comedy genius, because he just goes on and he's brilliant.
Take your sleeping bag.
And book a cab to go home, because there won't be any buses left for him.
No. And at the opposite end of the comedy spectrum, Roy Chubby Brown is at the Palace Theatre in Redditch, promising to pull no punches and leave no topic off limits.
Brilliant.
With his jaw-dropping take on the world and everyone in it. The show will definitely carry a health warning.
And definitely adults only. Royston Vasey.
Yes. Yeah.
As in that programme. Are you local? Brilliant. And in stand-up, the Artrix has Barnstormers, who introduced 3 top comedians from the London National Stand-Up Comedy Circuit. Tim Fitzhigham.
Fitzhigham, I think.
Fitzhigham, is it?
Fitzhigham, yeah.
Fitzhigham. Tim Fitzhigham headlines at Jongleurs, and Charlie Baker heads a great show at the Glee Club.
And then tonight, the gigs where you've got Vic Goddard and Subway Sect plus support at the Flapper. Recent Johnny Doon guests on Amped Free Sun Rising are at the Asylum as part of the Catapult Club. Britpop legends Cast are at the O2 Academy too. Chaz and Dave will be performing their 2-set theatre show at the Robin 2 in Bilston. 80s favourites The Christians play the Warmley Club. That's a great catch for them. And Newton Faulkner is at the O2 Institute, and here's his Keep Fit video called Up, Up and Away.
Gotta slow down, I'm hitting the ground, and I know it isn't right to scratch and fight another day. You are all that I want, but you're not what I need, and I know it's probably time to find another melody. Come
Cheers, guys. Now it's time to join Carl Jones from our movie show, The Big Picture. He's in the auditorium with a look at this week's film news.
Excellent week for new movie releases in the West Midlands, and the first film for me to talk about today is one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It's the reimagining of The Jungle Book. Now, you might remember back in 1967 the classic animation on Rudyard Kipling's story with those great tunes. Well, Jon Favreau has brought us a mix of real action and animation in this one, and he's also kept 2 or 3 of the great tunes in it. He's pulled together an unbelievable voiceover cast, including Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson, Christopher Walken, in the classic story still of the young boy Mowgli who's trying to survive in the jungle, much to the dismay of Shere Khan, the evil tiger who wants rid of him. As I say, the voiceover cast in this is absolutely fabulous, so let's have a look here from Jon Favreau, the director himself, who'll lead us through matching up some of the celebrity names with some of the characters.
Come on, let's go!
The Jungle Book is a great story, and as with all of my films, it always starts with the cast. We have Bill Murray in the role of Baloo.
Am I in the right monkey temple?
Baloo introduces Mowgli to the more fun aspect of the jungle. Chris Walken plays King Louie.
Call me Louie.
Well, King Louie is the king of the jungle. He's a gigantic gorilla.
Where you going, man cub?
And Idris Elba plays Shere Khan, the tiger. He's got a lot of power to his voice.
Mowgli. They've given it a name. I think the most exciting thing about being a part of this project was that my daughter and my son were going to get to see a classic with their dad's voice.
Come on. Hey, come back!
Scarlett Johansson plays Kaa, the snake.
I know what you are. In this film, Kaa is more of a storyteller. Would you like to see?
We have Lupita Nyong'o in the role of Raksha.
Raksha is the protector, the eternal mother.
You will always be my son.
I felt really connected to that.
Giancarlo Esposito plays Aquila, the alpha wolf.
No more tricks.
Going high!
Stay low.
Sir Ben Kingsley plays Bagheera.
Bagheera!
The characters are really well defined.
You must be the very worst wolf I've ever seen.
We have Neil Sethi, who plays Mowgli, the only live-action character in the film. Mowgli, you want a kid who's not intimidated, who's charismatic, and Neil is one of those guys.
You said they didn't sting.
Just put some honey on those.
We have a perfect cast. All of these people have come together to create something big and exciting.
I have to say, I found The Jungle Book to be an absolute visual treat for the eyes. It's one of those films that really does deserve to be seen on the big screen. It flies along at a great pace. I love Bill Murray's Baloo the bear. He's absolutely great. And Neil Sethi, the young boy who's the only real human character in the whole movie, does really well, given that he's 12 years old. It's his first film role, and he probably didn't have much of an idea about exactly what was going on around him. All in all, very respectful of the past, but updating the story, I hope, to introduce it to a whole new set of audiences. Totally different sort of film, but also well recommended, is a film called Eye in the Sky, and this stars Helen Mirren, who's sort of in her prime suspect role. She's masterminding things at military HQ, and they're trying to keep an eye on some radicalised youngsters who are out in the east and possibly hatching terrorist plots, and it all hinges around the idea of how much intelligence do you need to have in front of you before you press the button. Quite poignantly, the late Alan Rickman is in this, and he plays a middleman who's stuck between the government and the military forces and trying to keep both sides happy. Really tense, this one, and my sort of movie, because it doesn't try to patronise you, it doesn't try to pretend that it's got the answers to some pretty difficult 21st century social questions, and yet suspenseful movie right out of the top drawer. So another highly recommended movie, Eye in the Sky. Of course, there's lots more than those two films showing at West Midlands cinemas at the moment, so let's take a look at the latest box office top 10. At number 10 we have a film called Hardcore Henry, an action adventure which is told in first person style, a bit like a video game. It's ridiculous, but some gamers might really like that one. At number 9, Mayhem in the Capital with Gerard Butler in London Has Fallen. Number 8 is the sci-fi thriller 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman, and this is a film where the less you know about it, the more you'll probably enjoy it. At number 7, the comedy sequel we waited 14 years for, no less, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Number 6 is Midnight Special, a brilliant slow-burning story, this one, about a boy with special powers and his relationship with his father. Into the top 5, and at number 5, Kung Fu Panda 3, for my money the best of the series so far. Number 4, feel-good drama Eddie the Eagle, the true story of Eddie Edwards with Taron Egerton in the lead role. At number 3, The Huntsman, Winter's War, fairy tale fantasy as you've never seen it before, with Chris Hemsworth and Jessica Chastain. Toppled from top spot this week, at number 2, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. And that means that the new Disney animation Zootropolis is the new number 1, a film which will delight moviegoers of all ages. Don't forget, if you like your films, there's lots more where this came from in The Big Picture, Big Centre's new 1-hour weekly movie show, where we look at the latest cinema releases, we talk to local filmmakers, and we also have a look at what's hot on the streaming scene with our small screen panel.
Thanks, Carl. Look at the Jungle Book. And as he said, look out for the all-new Big Picture. It's a full hour about the world of movies and TV. OK, we're going to take a short break now, but when we come back, Tom Wilkinson will be here with his look back over this week in history. Johnny Doom from Amped will let us into his world of music, and Thomas Russon will take a look at what's good to read at the moment. And of course, as ever, I'll be delving into the Big Centre Postbag 2. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to Saturday's Big Magazine with me, Lee Bannister. It's your weekend digest from Big Centre. Now, still to come, Johnny Doom with his look at the music scene. Thomas Russon will be suggesting a good read, and I'll be trying on the postbag for size. Wonder if it'll fit this week. But before all that, let's look back over the past week in history with Doorstep History's Tom Wilkinson. He's joining me today at the desk. Hello. Hello. You all right?
Yeah, it's making a change, isn't it?
It is actually. Yeah, it's nice to have you here with me. So, this week in history, what are we looking at?
Well, this week seen a lot of local stories that we had from last week's. So, April the 10th, 1890, the local press reported that Fanny Smith of Regent's Place in Hyde Road committed suicide by hanging.
Oh dear.
And she was found by her husband with a thin piece of cord on the back of the pantry door. He obviously ran out in a bit of a panic into the street and called his neighbours, but it was later reported that the woman had quite a bit of a problem with the bottle.
Oh, did she?
Which, to be fair, back in those days, it wasn't that uncommon that people sort of turned to the bottle, because there wasn't the government guidelines saying, oh, you should only drink X amount of units at a time and all that. So people were a bit unaware and naive as to the cause and effects of alcohol and alcoholism.
Of course, that all led, in America in particular, to Prohibition, didn't it?
Yeah, much later Prohibition. That was, what was it, the 1930s.
Was there anything like that in this country?
I think there might have been. I'd have to do a bit more research on that one.
Yeah.
But I think at some point we have had sort of a verge on Prohibition in England.
They were much more strict about it in America, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, America's always been still is quite a religious sort of country, isn't it?
That's the point, isn't it? Yeah. OK, what else have we got?
Well, we've got a boat that was upset on the reservoir on the 11th of April, 1873, which only one life was lost on that. It was two men hired a boat, and 2/3 of the way across, the guy who was steering the boat had a fit and collapsed, therefore overturning the boat, and obviously the guy having a fit drowned, but his passenger survived.
Of course, that was big news, sort of then, wasn't it? Big local news.
Yeah, big news back in the day. Obviously, again, it's sort of medicine back in those days. Nobody would have been able to pick up on if he had some sort of brain trauma or anything that triggered the fit.
Yeah.
And obviously epilepsy as well. Epilepsy wasn't really treatable until more recent times.
Okay.
So it could have been anything really. It could have been an epileptic fit or something due to brain trauma from an earlier incident.
Difficult to tell.
No X-rays back then.
No, that much is right. Actually, do you know when were X-rays first sort of brought in?
X-rays were the early half of the 20th century, so I think it was about the 1920s or 30s, I could be wrong, but around about then that the first X-rays started sort of appearing.
What we got next?
Next up, 12th of April 1965, the first female traffic wardens.
The bane of our lives, the old traffic wardens.
Yeah, traffic wardens popping up everywhere. You can't move for them now.
Have you ever been caught out by one?
Once.
Once? Oh, right,
Once.
okay. And did you pay?
Private traffic warden, though.
Ah, right, okay.
So, got away with not paying that one. But
do you want to admit to that?
But yeah.
Okay.
So that was
Any
that wasn't too bad.
Sort of well-known birthdays during this week?
Yeah, William McGregor. He was born on the 13th of April 1846. And he was in association with the football administration in the Victorian era, and he's regarded as the founder of the modern football league. So everything that we've got now, well, prior to all the sponsoring and everything that we had before, like League One was the Premiership and all that. That was basically his sort of brainchild and organisation that he
So
set
we've
up.
got him to thank for all
We've
of
got
that.
him to thank for that.
Right, okay.
But not the overpriced wages.
Haven't they grown over the years? Good Lord.
Yeah, the Jeff Astle tram was named on the 12th of April 2003.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Who's it named by?
It was named by Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
But it was a public vote overall that got decided on the name. Which I think it's a fitting tribute, being a Baggies fan myself. I think it's a...
Oh, you're the Baggies fan, right?
I'm
okay.
a Baggies fan in the office, yeah. I'm the only one who knows anything about football in the office.
Oh, I'll tell James and Gary about that.
Yeah, don't tell James we're going.
No. What else have we got?
13th of April 1891, foundation stone laid at Spring Hill Library by the Mayor, Alderman Clayton.
Ah, Spring Hill Library. Whereabouts?
Yeah, it's been a while. Spring Hill. I know this.
It's not Spring Hill in Wolverhampton, is it?
Yes.
Ah, I thought so.
Spring Hill in Wolverhampton.
I know it well.
Yeah. So that was laid. 13th of April 1987, the Ladworth Project Awards were held at the Council House, and that's for pupils. And the 4 pupils that received the first awards were Andrew Pawley, Rossi Leake, Mandy Sanger and Emma Studley, presented with the prizes for producing anti-vandalism posters.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Which obviously are now sort of commonplace. Most places that you look, you can see something that's relatively anti-vandalism.
It's good to get kids actually involved in that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for the community to have these sort of little projects and things.
Yeah. I mean, schools are quite a big target anyway, aren't they? You know, it's inevitable. So yeah, it's nice to get them involved in actually looking after things.
Yeah.
We like that, yes. What else?
13th of April 1988 was the centenary game between Aston Villa and Birmingham City.
All right.
Who will probably be playing each other again soon.
So we gather, yes. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, but yeah. That's all I've got for you today.
Okay, so you're going to come back tomorrow and tell me what's coming up next week.
I'll tell you what's coming up next week. There's a few interesting ones. It's a bit more international next week.
Oh, right, okay. We shall look forward to that then, won't we? Well, thank you, Tom. And yes, you'll be looking ahead to next week's historical happenings here on the Big Magazine tomorrow. Okay, let's head on over now to Johnny Doom's pad to see what's happening in the music world.
Hello, I'm Johnny Doom. You can see me on Amped on Wednesdays at 10, Fridays at 11:30 and maybe Saturday at 9:30. But here's my top gigs for the coming week. Wednesday, you've got, 70s legend Shalimar. They're going to be at the Jam House on the 20th. Saturday, go and skank around to the Beat. They're at the Rainbow on the 23rd. And a big gig on the 26th. You've got Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. That's at the Barclaycard Arena.
When you love someone, it's natural, not demanding. And that's one thing I'm proud to say I found in you. I'm so glad we reached an understanding. Now I know my heart is safe with you. Ooh. So now
Time now to see what you've been saying to us. It's time for the Postbag. What have we got this week? Well, now I don't know whether you saw the story flying around last week about Samuel L. Jackson telling a magazine that he's moving to Birmingham. Well, Ian Dangerfield reckons if it's on the internet, then it must be true. And he has a grin. Well, I know what you mean, but let's see. What do you think? If that were real, what do you think? Let us know. Now, next, our recent new look and various changes are continuing to go down very well indeed. Carl Jones's movie show is now known as The Big Picture, and it's been extended to a whole hour. Michael Blakemore says the change of the programme name is an improvement. And a few words. Yes, thank you, Michael. We think so too. Now, Jack Haywood has been in touch. He says, loving the new idents and graphics, a lot more sleeker and professional looking. Cheers, Jack. I know he likes that sort of thing. Pete Benton has been in touch and he says, enjoying the new look, but ye oldie windmill will be missed and the morning opening ident. Used to love that. Turn the sound up when that played. Hashtag Anorak. Thanks, Pete. Well, I do know that the original logo and idents were done by a chap called Dave Jeffrey, who has recreated many of the old ITV idents over the years. You probably know that. Now, I know Dave quite well, and if you know where to look on YouTube, then you can find a showcase of Dave's work for Big Centre if you're missing it. Oh, and for the record, he actually really likes our new look as well. So there you go. As for the windmill, well, I don't know if you realise, but as well as all the places shown in all the old idents, it's a real place in our area. The windmill is actually in Wednesbury. If you do a search online for Wednesbury Windmill, you'll find a photo of it. Now, a couple of days ago, you probably saw that we spoke with Mark Presti, who is a local writer and filmmaker behind the film Titanic Love. Now, I directed that programme, and it was fascinating to hear him describing the production process and the fact that the film has received a couple of industry filmmaking awards. Anyway, just before he went on with Bob on Thursday, he tagged Big Centre in a message. He said, "Just about to see myself on the news. How odd. Good job I lost some weight, as TV puts some on you." Yeah, I can't comment about that. Really chuffed. Came out a great interview for indie filmmaking and all those peeps pursuing their dreams, no matter what they may be. Thanks to TV anchor and TV anchor legend Bob and the fab team at Big Centre. Oh, nice one. When we actually repeated his interview on Friday morning, he said, "Warning, this man is on the news again. Caution given now so as not to ruin your breakfast. Have a good one. Laters." Laters, Mark. And in response to Rafina Muriviova, who says, possible watch some records online or something for somebody that missed it, well, we can help there. The interview will be available on YouTube. In fact, it might actually be there as I speak. And if you want to find out more about the film, then on Facebook, do a search for Titanic Love, the short films. Next, a question from Jazz Sandhu. He says, can you upload the videos from Dudley today, including the Dudley Eye and the April Fool's interviews, please? Well, the good news is that the Dudley Eye piece should now be on YouTube, but at the moment there are no plans to upload the April Fool's stuff. Wouldn't really work now that we're past April Fool's Day, but there you go. Oh, and finally, a reminder that we have moved. Now, I can hear you saying, no, you haven't, you're still there. Now, what I mean is that Big Centre has now moved to Freeview Channel 7. And if you're already watching us on Freeview 7 or Virgin 159 or online, then you don't need to do a thing. It's only if you still happen to be watching on Freeview Channel 8. And the good news is that it's a very quick job to retune your TV. You've probably done it before, actually, because channels, as you probably know, are often added or altered on Freeview. So have a look in your TV's manual for details. But of course, if you do need any assistance or support, then have a look online at www.freeview.co.uk/support or hop over to the Freeview information page on Channel 100. And remember, if you're already looking at us on Freeview Channel 7, Virgin 159 or online, then again, you don't need to do a thing. And that's your Big Magazine for Saturday. Remember, you can catch the Big Magazine on Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and we're back with more tomorrow, Sunday, also at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. I do hope you can join us then. So from the whole team here, I'll see you later. Ta-ra, bit.